I want to show a system here has a very large Freon leak, and here's the history of it. So 2015, added 2 pounds of refrigerant. The system only holds 4 pounds. Again, 2015, it lost its refrigerant, put Super Seal, which I rarely use. I'll do a video on Super Seal and why it's not a fix for everything. Actually, 2016, the Super Seal seemed to hold, only had to add a half a pound. And now 2017, system is flat and had about 11 psi in it. And whenever you lost all your liquid refrigerant and you're getting down to your lower pressures, don't even bother with the sniffer because the leak is huge. So ultrasonic was picking up the leak right about here. So I'm going to pull this coil and see exactly what the leak looks like, and to show why the Super Seal did not seal the leak, or it sealed it for a little bit. I mean, I can tell you right now, before even looking at it, it's a crack, and the crack grew bigger, and Super Seal is not going to keep up with that. And I highly recommend not using leak sealant because it makes it harder for the compressor to start. Leak sealant also is basically just super glue. So you're basically putting glue inside that activates with water. So now we got issues, you know, is there any water in the system? So I'm definitely, you know, I want to put a new filter dryer. And but it's not the cure-all. You better change the evaporator. Now, since we definitely don't want to get moisture in, and want to cover everything. And then here's a little heat shield, just some folded sheet metal. I'm gonna unsolder right here, and then this coil will pull right out, and then I can pressurize it outside of the unit and fix the leak. You can see the leak right there. So I could dig out the aluminum, which I'll probably have to do, or I could bang down the metal to reach it. I'm gonna try banging down the metal first because it'll look nicer on this coil. So it's this tube right here. Basically, take your hammer, just bang it down and get to the crack. Okay, you see the crack right there? So the crack right where it went through the tube sheet. So banging down the tube sheet, it gives me enough room. I can get some solder on there, but first I need to clean that up a little bit. Some sandpaper. Probably bang it down a little more too. So Super Seal is not going to work on that. It's too big. So you can see there the crack's pretty big. And you might ask, does banging on this coil make other leaks? Yep, it does. So I use a little piece of sandpaper, get in there, clean it up a little bit more, and then blow it out some gas. I can't video and show the soldering, but basically I'm going to use as small a flame as possible. I'm going to try not to heat up the other joints, which is going to be difficult, but and then be leak checking other joints, because sometimes you can be chasing your tail creating leaks as you're going, but they're easy enough to fix, you know, when you're outside the unit like this. And the other leak fixed that got caused, so I went around and I snooped the other tubes. This is the best liquid leak detector because of how it applies. All that spray-on stuff doesn't apply as nicely as this, because you can leak check without making bubbles. Now, one other thing, let's say you mess those pipes up to hell and there's no way in heck you're gonna fix the pipes. You could jump this circuit out. This circuit, this evaporator has 3 circuits that go all the way up. I'm not talking about jumping a whole circuit because you kill your capacity. You could jump out just these actual 2 tubes by, on the other side, just taking a piece of 3/8 copper and just jumping across. Let's pretend this was the other side. If I were to take a couple of the ends off, make a bigger end, jump across, I could change the refrigerant circuit so that I just skip 2 tubes. You can't skip 1 tube, but you can skip even tubes. So I could recircuit it with a new piece of copper on the other end and throw my balance off a little bit, so I'll get a little bit of liquid wanting to come out in that circuit, but we're only talking about out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it'd be 1 out of 8. I'd be losing 12%, of capacity on that actual circuit. So it's not the end of the world, on that. But I've actually had to do that on some larger commercial jobs. So I swapped the filter dryer. Now, since this was a low side leak, probably sucked in air in the system, which is not good with the leak sealant. Just want to make sure to dry the system out. And got my large 3/8 hoses. Made sure to remove the cores. Vacuum pump. So we're at 600 right now. All right, here's the evaporator. There's a thermal image. They have good refrigerant flow. Let's do a final leak check now. So we have a house full of Freon. Let's zero it out. And I would expect a house full of Freon because I was just working on this thing. So my repair effort was in vain. I'm still getting a leak on the repaired coil. I'm not going to pull it again. I'm going to swap it out with a used coil, which is the not leaking. It was from a system that didn't leak. By me doing the video, you can see what not to do and avoid the trouble. You got an old coil, don't try repairing it. If you do try repairing it, make sure you tell the customer there's a good chance this repair is not going to work, but you're better off just changing the coil every time. The exception would be there's some coil there's no way you can get it, or if it's a huge commercial machine. I hope you like watching the video. Thanks for watching.